This step right here cannot be missed. This is definitely going to be in my routine forever. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So today we're going to get into these fruit nails. I've been seeing these nails going around and I was like, I want to be able to put my little tweak on it and use certain things. And I always been wanting to do the Aurora effect with the pigment powder. So I was like, this is my perfect chance. Y'all know I always got to have my matte top coat. Y'all know I always got to have it. Now, while I was in Walmart, I had picked up this e.l.f. brush because I was like, I need a fluffy brush to do it, to do the Aurora effect. And I was not about to use one of my makeup brushes. I'm going to go ahead and put matte top coat all over my nails. So therefore, the pigment powder will have something to stick to when I go ahead and apply it with the brush. If you don't have the pigment powders, I have seen people do it with the color acrylic. If you try that, let me know down below. How does that come out? If you have not been extra careful before, this is the time for you to be extra careful. These pigment powders will get everywhere. You want to have a paper towel just to have a surface to clean off your brushes when you're alternating colors, because you don't want to dab into the pink and then don't clean off your brush and then go into the yellow, because then the color is not going to be its true form. At this point, I was really trying to get a feel for the brush, spreading out the bristles, like trying to flatten it down on the nail, because once it's packaged, it's like it be stiff. So I'm like, okay, let me get the feel for how I'm gonna keep the product just in this one area, because y'all know with the Aurora nails, it just be like in that one area and then it flows to the outside. So I was like, let me make sure this brush is not too big to where it's gonna get everywhere. Since the lid already had a little bit of product on there, that's what I dabbed the brush into and then dabbed some of that product off. So therefore, once I place it on my nail, it just won't be that whole glob on the nail. So the best way is when you first put it on the nail, just try to dab it right there in the center. You can worry about feathering out the edges once you get finished with that center. While you're dabbing, you really want to lift up the brush and check, because it can progress really fastly and you don't want too much to be spreading around. So it's like dab, 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 check, dab, 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 check. Now, once your nail look like this is pretty fine to me. But if you want to buff out the edges a little bit, just go ahead, swirl your swirl your brush around on the napkin to get most of that product off. Therefore, so when you go to feather out the edges, no product will be transferring on the nail. It's just you buffing out the edges. That's it. Once you're finished with the pigment powders, you really want to clean your brush off to make sure none of that color is transferred on any of the other nails or any of the other colors. And make sure you pick up that pigment powder and close it up and put it up, because you don't want no incidents of you knocking over anything and it's just a mess. And side note, throughout this whole process, if you get any of the pigment powder on one nail that you didn't want on there, just take a big fluffy brush and dust it off lightly. Don't dust it off too hard, because then it might streak onto the nail. And this is where everything almost went wrong. So when I started applying the matte top coat to this one thumbnail, I had to pause. I was like pausing in between applying it because I'm like, am I tripping, or is this stuff starting to like, I don't know how to explain it. It started to like marble at the same time but come off. So I was like, oh no. So y'all see right here, I hesitated putting it on this one because I started looking at the thumb like, what are you doing? But just don't apply any top coat on there until you're finished with the whole design, because that just almost went downhill. So I just took me some acetone, and the colors that I did the Aurora design with, I just got some similar gel polishes to them and just put them on my color palette. And all the colors that I'm using is by D&D. Now, this yellow, I don't know what was going on with this yellow, but this yellow is more like on the mustard transparent side. Like, I have to mix it with a white in order for it to come off pigmented. I put the white down first because I want it to be lighter. If I wanted it to be a little darker or the true yellow that it comes, I would have put the yellow down and then the white. And when you're mixing colors, make sure you just go little by little. You can always add more, but it's really hard to take it away. I've seen many people put the white around the base first and then do the little fruit design, but I decided to use the same colors that I used for the Aurora part and put that around the base first and then the white, just to add a little oomph to it. To get this crescent moon shape around my cuticle is different pressures that you can use to give you different sized lines. So I lightened up my pressure once I got towards the ends because that's where I wanted to come to a point at and become skinnier at. Now, the middle part, I wanted that to be thicker. Always make sure you're flipping your hand around from each angles to make sure that you're covered the nail properly in the polish. Or even if it's your client's hand, flip it around towards you, if that makes sense. You know how you like flip their hand around from their point of view? That's what you have to do to make sure none of the lines are crooked or lopsided, because they would be. I'm telling you, from your angle, it might look like it's right, but it don't be right. And I always get polish on my fingers. Always. With doing this design, you want to have a center point to bring all the lines to, unless you just got a really good eye and you could eyeball it. Taking my white polish, all I'm going to do is trace the lines that I have the color at so it could be a smooth transition when connecting the lines to the middle dot. And y'all see at the tip of my nails, I did a little French tip, little 1-2 to match the beginning of the nails. By beginning, I mean by the cuticle. When it comes down to nail art, it is not difficult at all. It's just the illusion that it gives. If you want something to look more complex, do a background on it. It's the layers of the nail art that makes it look complex. It could be as simple as you just taking some blooming gel and a little colors and drawing some flowers on top of that. It's going to make it look more complex than it really is. You don't want to space the lines out too much, and you don't want to have them too close together. Now this is going to tie everything together. You want to round out your corners. So you see where the point is, where the line meets in the middle? You want to make sure you round that and connect it to the lines that's coming from the circle. That's going to give it that seamless illusion, and it's not going to look so triangular. It's going to be round. Once you round out those edges, make sure you come back down the line that's coming from the circle to make sure any bumps or ridges that's in between that line is smoothed out, because you want it to be so seamless to where it all look like it's in one piece. If you need to see this technique a little more, you can go in my holiday playlist and go to Halloween Glam Set. In that set, I did a butterfly, and a butterfly, to make the butterfly come together, is these exact same steps, rounding out the edges. final finish touches, you're going to go in with your whatever nail glue you have or clear building gel. I'm just going to go in with the Macart rhinestone glue to add like these little fruit pieces, these little clear fruit pieces to make it come to life. I'm not going to add it on all of the spaces. I just added it on some to give it like a little oomph. But if you want to add it on all of them, you can. I did put my top coat on before I started doing this just so it wouldn't blend in with the top coat. If you haven't already, leave a comment down below and let me know how do you like them. This is the final product and I'm going to see you guys in my next one. Bye.